Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, Season 3, Episode 45, a sign of the times. We will let you know what that means very shortly. I am your host, Eric, my main man over there. Ron, how are you tonight?
I am ready to go. I got a lot to say this week.
I'm fired up. I am excited. A lot going on in the sports world. If you are joining us live tonight, please feel free to join in on the chat. We can talk about anything you want to talk about other than religion and politics. We will be more than happy to talk about it. So, chime in anytime you want, and we will gladly put your comments up on the screen. And then join us during our prediction segment to make your picks to get on our prediction chart. And that'll be at the end of the show. Ron, we are going to start off with our leadoff story, my friend. And that is going to be one Mr. Jim Harbaugh. So the Michigan coach has been accused of sign stealing and is now faced a 3-game suspension. So the rest of the regular season by the NCAA. Your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh, this situation, and what it ultimately means for the Michigan football team?
Okay, it's a joke. It's really a joke. Because when you look at it, I mean, they suspended him for 3 games, really? 3 games. What does that teach? Oh, it just gives you a few games off to prepare for the postseason. That's all it's doing.
Well, I'm not sure if he's going to not be suspended longer afterwards. They initially just started off with he's not allowed to coach the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, but a punishment is the postseason, correct? Am I wrong in saying that? But that's what everybody else gets.
I would say this, though, too. He's also allowed to coach the team other than he cannot be on the sideline during the games.
So he can actually stay in the booth.
So, no, I don't think he can go to the games, but he can coach them during the course of the week. So I don't know if this is a real, suspension.
No, it's not. It's a joke.
So one of the big keys in this was a Connor Stallion. He resigned from Michigan. There was allegations that he was on sidelines pretending to be part of another team, wearing glasses and videotaping during the games. So a lot of stuff that we've heard in the past. Yeah, obviously being New England fans, we know about Spygate and some of those things that have come out. The question would be this, though, Ron. He's already served a 3-game suspension earlier in this season for recruiting violations.
Right.
That was mandated by the school.
That's the reason why I'm so upset about this, is because it just never ends with him. You know what I'm saying? This is now a pattern of him basically cheating to try to win championships because he can't do it the right way.
Yeah, I would say
this. Simple as that.
Kenny, thanks for joining. I will say that ultimately, in your mind, Ron, if you're an NFL owner now, because there's been a lot of speculation that Jim Harbaugh possibly returning to the NFL, would you, if you own the New England Patriots and you were going to make a decision to change from Bill Belichick, would Jim Harbaugh be on your list of candidates?
No.
Based off of what he's done in college with this situation?
No, yeah, when it comes to that, look, especially as the Patriots, right? Because we know the history now, right? Even though a lot of it is still BS.
No, and that's a great point, Ron. Yeah.
You can't afford to bring in somebody that is going to possibly, potentially, and most likely break the rules. And he has 2 cases this year. You might think after the first suspension, he would get it and say, hey, I got to keep my hands clean, the rest of this year. But no, couldn't do that.
And I would say
So-
this, listen, there was a lot of speculation that he was going to get fired at Michigan. His team was struggling, right? Couldn't beat Ohio State, couldn't get into the playoffs. And I would say this, at the end of the day, the only reason why he resorted to this, because he was trying to save his job.
Yeah.
How good of a coach are you if that's the route you have to take? You're at a big school, so it's not like you can't get talent and recruit talent. Michigan is obviously, a historic school with great players that have been there. So I don't even understand what Jim Harbaugh is thinking, or his process to this is that either you felt so much pressure to win. I am curious if this doesn't go deeper and you find out the school was somehow involved to make sure that they were winning games.
Yeah, look, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if anything. I'm not surprised if anything, anywhere, anytime, anymore.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it is a crazy world. Yes.
We know people do some crazy things even for no reason. So, if there's more, and I'm sure there's more, I'm sure there is. It's never as little as you see. It's like an iceberg, You're only going to see part of it when the bigger part is down below the surface.
Yeah.
It's going to be just like that. But it's what they want to expose as opposed to what they will expose.
Yeah. Well, Kenny thinks you're crazy, I guess, in one aspect. He said he made the Super Bowl. But again, did he cheat to get to the Super Bowl? We don't know now from a credibility standpoint what Jim Harbaugh is. Is he a legitimately good coach, or is it somebody like that has to find other means to win games? And ultimately it's cheating. It's blatantly cheating. Listen, we've lived it in New England, and there's been speculation again that they've taped sidelines. It's the same thing they did in New England. It gave you an advantage. You can't say it didn't. And I think people are going to really start to question Harbaugh about this.
And I wouldn't be surprised if every single team in every single sport does it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's how blatant it is. I mean, we saw how blatant it was with the Red Sox, with Alex Cora.
Yeah.
I mean, he got caught both in Houston and Boston.
And then look when he doesn't do it, or at least we don't think he's done it. They can't win games.
Right. So, I mean, we're going to find out this week, right, with Michigan?
Big game against Penn State, right? Big game against Penn State now. This could ultimately derail their season in a playoff, berth. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe that, brightens his outlook and say, look, I can't do this anymore if I'm jeopardizing my team's chances going forward.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know. I think, like I said, to get caught once already this season doing something wrong, which was probably worse than what the sign stealing is, but then you get caught doing that after you've already faced suspensions. I mean, to me, he should have been done for the season because it's a second offense in the same season.
Money rules everything, though, right?
Right, and that's the thing. That is why the NCAA doesn't pull the trigger on that, because it's Michigan. It's Jim Harbaugh. That team is going to bring in money for the playoffs, so they want that still in there for the revenue.
They want him in for that, and I think that's what you're ultimately going to see.
Yep.
We'll see if it's a distraction for the team, to your point. Big game this week. If they can pull this off, right? I think they got the one other game against Ohio State at the end of the season.
So I'm gonna take it upon myself to help, do what's right and not watch another Michigan game.
All right. Look at it. Stand tall, my friend. Stand packed. If you'd like to buy me a coffee or the show, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee, and you can help support the show. Very simple. As much as a coffee, Ron?
It's somewhere around $5 to $7 in most places. Some are more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
So buy me a coffee.
Yep.
So really good discussion there about Michigan, but we're going to move on to the NFL, Ron, and we're going to talk about our local team here in JC Jackson. So JC Jackson, we're going to bring him up on the screen because I know how much you love seeing his pretty mug.
Yep.
Will not be traveling with the team, or did not travel with the team because they're already in Germany for this Sunday's game. Do you believe the Patriots are handling this situation correctly?
Well, the Patriots haven't handled anything correctly this year. So, I mean, do I think that they might be right on this? Maybe. I don't know exactly what he's done. Um, from what I gather, he was late for a
Curfew.
team.
Yeah, he
Right.
was late for curfew against the Commanders.
Right. With Jones, correct?
Jack Jones, yes.
And they both got benched for a
Yeah.
little while in the game until they
Yeah.
needed them. And now all of a sudden, here he is not going with the team. So something's up.
Yeah, I think this to me is a case of one of those guys that, I got my money and I ran. And I
Yeah.
didn't run in a direction where I'm trying to, shut down a wide receiver. I ran to the bank and said, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. I don't need football. And honestly, again, he's been with the Patriots for 5 games now, 14 tackles, 3 pass defense. Hasn't had an interception, really hasn't made an impact. I know everybody keeps criticizing that very weak at corner and, they can't afford. He's not really being a productive factor in the games anyway.
No.
And unfortunately, I think at this point, Bill Belichick needs to either establish that he can still manage a team and be able to control players, or it's just going to go awry. And you know what? The wheels are going to fall off, because we've seen it with Mac Jones kind of talking out of context on some things. And you hear some of these players chiming in with things that you normally didn't hear. JC Jackson, to me, honestly, at this point, I would cut him. If I was the Patriots, that's what I would have done. Like, why even keep this distraction around? Because not only did he get in trouble, right? He gets Jack Jones in trouble. And that kid already had some issues early in the year with the loaded gun on the plane. And I don't think, and that kid hasn't gotten paid yet. So that kid can't afford to jeopardize.
Right.
So you see the difference of, he's traveled with the team this week. He's in Germany. JC Jackson isn't. So JC Jackson just like, whatever.
Well, it also makes you wonder why they didn't keep him. Right? When they let him go in free agency.
Yeah, they knew what they were getting into. And then again, the Chargers overpaid.
Yeah.
And I read a story where the actual the general manager went into the DB room after they traded him back to New England and apologized to the Chargers defensive back, saying, "I'm sorry, I swung and I missed." That's how bad he was in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Like, he just wasn't productive there.
No, he was not. And, it's, and along with it, he developed this kind of attitude kind of problem. And it's been nothing but a problem in New England.
Yeah. And listen, when he got signed with this trade, we kind of all felt a little better about the cornerback situation. You're like, you know what? He's been here. He knows the system. Maybe he's motivated. He just didn't work in LA. It didn't work because he didn't want it to work. It wasn't a matter of, you know what I mean?
Work.
So unfortunately, listen, I think Belichick's still trying to make sure he's running this team, and he's going to try to prove points to guys. The problem is, though, I don't know if they've got enough quality players to back Belichick up.
No, and that's the problem.
Devin McCourty is on that team right now in that DB room. You don't think he's smacking JC Jackson around saying smarten up?
Yeah, absolutely. That would make a difference, right? I mean, there's a lot of guys that they don't have in there anymore, and there's nobody really left accountable.
Yeah, it's a shame.
You also have the bickering between like the defense and getting on, that offense that's been really bad.
It's been horrible.
Primarily Mac Jones. It's getting ugly. It's getting ugly, and I think Belichick is losing the team if
Yeah.
he hasn't already.
Yeah, agreed. Looking forward to that Colts game though. 9:30 in the morning, Ron. Come on, NFL, stop. 9:30. I gotta be up. Watch this game. All right, let's talk about one more big story that came out of the NFL. Kyler Murray set to make his return this week with the Arizona Cardinals. Is this the right decision by the team? Should this happen?
Yeah, you might as well because he's getting paid.
But do you not jeopardize something? They're 1-8. They are actually 9th overall in sacks allowed at 24. So they're in the top 10 in sacks allowed. 30th passing. So they don't have guys he can just get rid of the ball to. I question this move based on the fact that you realistically right now, I'd rather lose more games than win anyway. I'm fighting for a first round pick and getting another offensive lineman or a wide receiver that I know can make a difference.
I'm not sure him putting into the lineup is making a difference. And I think the team is now feeling that. And I don't think they're very happy with Kyler Murray right now.
They gotta pay him. So you think, but what happens? He gets injured.
I know. Well,
that's where I'm questioning: is he 100% ready to go for a 1-8 team?
I don't know. It's
I mean, they're 3-5, 4-4, and you sit back and you go, you know what? They're still in the mix. I take that chance. 1-8. Why bother? Why are we doing this to the kid and jeopardizing a chance of him actually injuring this knee again?
Well, there could be a reason of maybe they plan on trading him.
Nobody's picking up that contract.
That's
saying. Like somebody saying they want Mac Jones right now.
Well, we can swap.
You want to do that? I don't know if Arizona if Belichick could pull that off. Don't fire that man because he really is a genius. Who knows what videos they're sending over to Arizona?
I don't know.
All right, Ron.
There's generally a reason for them to play.
Yeah, listen. He's ready. He's healthy, I guess. But I was just questioning 1-8. Why put him on the field? Ron, it's week 10 already of the NFL. Is that not insane? Week 10. What are your games of interest this week? What is Ron going to be sitting down this Sunday and watching?
Good question. Probably the Bruins.
Netflix.
Probably the Bruins. Well, I have 4 games.
All right, I got 5, so I think we'll probably be about close.
I will start with the less obvious.
Okay.
Jets at Las Vegas.
I have that one as well.
Because I'm curious to see what Las Vegas looks like, after they get rid of Josh McDaniels.
Week 2 now, so they won their first game.
Yep. And
they celebrated like they won the Super Bowl, and I swear they were smoking something that is a legal substance afterwards that the NFL should be testing.
And, they have the All-Star coming in, to town, quarterbacking this massive Jets franchise.
You love them. Come on. Zach Wilson and you are going to go hanging out. I think he's going to invite you to a Christmas party. Never mind the card. Zach Wilson at his Christmas party.
Yeah, I don't see it. But it's just an interesting thing now because if Vegas wins again.
How bad was McDaniel? Although there was a lot of reports, and this is where I have a problem, that they were not playing for him. And I get what you're saying of he might not be a good coach. I guess he was more of a tyrant, in the facilities and kind of just wasn't easy to work with. But the players stopped playing to lose on purpose so that they could get rid of him. I don't know if I agree with that either, though. I don't feel like that's the right way or strategy to go about something.
Well, it's always somewhere in the middle, right? I mean, look, you're going to tell me Devontae Adams didn't stop playing?
I mean, best wide receiver in football, all of a sudden he can't do anything.
Right. So
Jacobs, right? Jacobs, didn't sign that deal, couldn't get. Now look at him. And again, to somebody like that, maybe to your point, why would he want to not play well? Because he's trying to get paid.
Yeah.
Because he's still under that contract. We'll see. I agree with you. I had that one down. Here's my less obvious as well. Texans at Bengals. Bengals right now riding high, but T. Higgins out for the game, possibly Jamar Chase. So their two top wide receivers out. The Texans are a 500 team right now, and C.J. Stroud very easily right now is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. The kid is putting up numbers. They're playing well there. This is a game where, listen, if you can beat a powerhouse team that's riding high right now, the Texans have a lot of momentum going. The Texans should be in the playoffs this season, as crazy as it sounds. They have a possibility. This game could be that stepping stone for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it could. If Chase is in, though, I think they'll be okay.
Game time decision.
I know. The team can still sling it. If somebody can catch the ball, they're gonna be in a position to do it. I'm more confident in the Houston offense than I am in their defense, but I don't know. I mean, it'll be a pretty good game because of the injuries, but when it's all fair, it's not close.
Injuries matter, though. What else you got?
They do.
What else you got?
I like that San Fran at Jacksonville game.
I have that one as well. Right? That's even like a fun game.
Look, San Fran has been reeling. What are they, 5-3 now?
3 straight losses.
3 straight losses, and then you got to go into Jacksonville. Jacksonville is not an easy team to play.
Not at all.
They have a pretty good defense. That Lawrence is playing well.
Yeah.
And, and I know I was the first one to jump all over Peterson, the guru, the quarterback guru, right? And but he's done a great job with Lawrence.
Agreed.
He fixed him.
Yeah. So I love that game. I think that's probably the game of the week, besides one other. But I had Lions at Chargers as well, and I had that game just because, again, the Chargers finally at 500. We saw the last time the Detroit Lions played a team of quality. Didn't go so well. So let's see if they can get off that. Are they legitimate? To your point, you've kind of questioned it. This may be a game, even though the Chargers aren't bond burners, they were a good enough team to beat them.
The Chargers are just...
Isn't it one of the most disappointing? It's got to be. It's like one of those things where when you go to the movie, your friend says, "Hey, you know what? This is the funniest movie I've ever seen in my life. You're gonna laugh the whole time," and then you go watch the movie and you go, "It was okay. Like it was good. It was some good parts. They had something, but it was the funniest movie ever." That's the Chargers. They have the talent. You go up and down the lineup. You go, wow, Justin Herbert. I take Justin Herbert in a minute. You say, hey, we're going to give you send him to New England. Hey, you're going to give me Austin Eckler.
Can we?
Send
him
to New England, right?
Can they?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, and then you sit back and go, how's this team 500 every year, barely making it or not making the playoffs with all the talent they have? So, yeah, I agree with you. The Chargers always been that team. Years, but I think that's coaching too. I think that's Staley. That guy's he makes some weird decisions. Captain fourth down, that's what I call him, because every fourth down he's going for it. It don't matter. I mean, I'll be at the 10-yard line. It's fourth. I'm going for it. It's 4th and 1. I don't know. Anyway, last game. It's got to be the game. I know this is the game you're talking about. Did you have one different than the Lions Chargers?
No.
Okay, so your last game's got to be the game I'm thinking too.
Yeah, it's got to be.
This is the game.
Colts and Patriots.
That you got it, my friend. Who doesn't want to see that at 9:30 in the morning? You can't. You're putting the garbage right at the beginning of the day.
Right.
Not even a good game. Oh my!
So
goodness.
in the morning you take out the trash and then you get to the real games.
Then you get to the real game. Browns at Ravens.
Yes.
This one is gonna be just a slugfest. I love this. This is
Yeah.
old time football. These are that Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens matchups. Browns Ravens, same thing. Just football, my friend.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see Garrett if he can get to Jackson.
Yeah, that's a good right. Great dynamic to think about for that game. No, dude, that's gonna be a great game. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, no, I that's the one. If there's anything that I want to watch, that's the one that I want to watch. That and the San Francisco game,
Yeah,
I think, are the best 2 games.
Big Thursday night game too, coming up too. This Thursday night.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one that just passed.
No, that was a butt. Oh my goodness! I was telling my buddy he's a Panthers fan, and I said I'm prepping for the show last night, and I'm going through, and I had the game on, and you sit back and you go, you know what? Like you think you'd get distracted. Like I'm writing the article, reading them. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot I put the game on. That's how boring it was. Like these teams stink.
It's a terrible game. Panthers, Bears, awful.
The Bears. All right, my friend.
It was an easy decision to watch the Bruins last night.
Right?
Easy decision.
And they're hot. Why wouldn't you want to watch it? All right, my friend. It is time for the starting 5. This week, starting 5, we had a little fun with food, so we said let's do it again. Let's pick colors. So these are athletes that have a color involved in their name, and it could be first name, last name.
Colored.
Colors. Color.
Okay.
Color in their name.
Okay.
Sir. So you are first this week. Do you want to give your honorable mentions?
Oh my God, do I? There might be a lot of them.
Okay. You know what? I'll take a nap.
All right. So honorable mentions. I'll start it out with my baseball player honorable mention. Paul Goldschmidt.
On my list.
His numbers are good.
Very good.
And it's funny because I at first had Hank Greenberg on my list, and I'm like, wait, Paul Goldschmidt's numbers are almost identical, maybe a little better, except for the fact of World Series.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they both ended up not on my list, on my honorable mention. Also on my honorable mention is Red Skoendenst, however you say his name, way back when. Also, JoJo White did not make my list.
That's a good one. I didn't have JoJo.
JoJo had 17.2 points per game, 4 and 4.9 assists. 7-time All-Star, a Finals MVP, 2-time champion, and he didn't make my list.
Wow.
Let me see. Who else was there? I know there's another one. Vita Blue.
Okay, yeah.
Vita Blue. 209 wins, 3.27 strike ERA. He's an MVP and a Cy Young Award winner. Didn't make my list.
Nice. Very good. Very good.
I think that might be it. Things are all over the place.
All right. 2 of my honorable mentions that you didn't have, and I'm surprised. Your boy Draymond Green. Draymond Green
was not putting him there.
4 championships. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't putting him
8
there.
all defensive, 1-time defensive player of the year. Again, but did not make my list. Kevin Green, 160 sacks, 23 forced fumbles, 5 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros. Didn't make my list. All right, my friend, it is time for our starting 5. Or do you have another one?
I have something else, though, because I did some homework.
James White.
And I felt kind of bad that some of these other sports, because mine was pretty much dominated by football and baseball.
Okay.
But NASCAR best color, man. Rex White, 28 career wins.
Nice. Very good.
The LPGA.
Ooh.
Rosie Jones.
Rosie. All right.
13 wins on the tour, best color,
Okay.
Olympics. Because I usually
Yeah, you're
have
our big
somebody,
Olympic
right?
guy. Yeah, always.
Didn't get anybody that could get in there. But the best Olympian with a color, Steve Redgrave. He was a rower. He has 5 golds and 1 bronze.
Nice.
Boxing, didn't have a color to make it, but Maxi Rosenblum,
Ah.
207 career wins.
Wow.
39 losses, 26 draws.
Man just fought.
He had a 16-year career and had 280 bouts in 16 years.
That's insane.
That is
They're
insane.
fighting every week.
And yeah, that's it. That's it.
Very good. Very good. I like what you did there.
Got a few sports in there that don't necessarily get in there.
I love it. I love it. I don't know if I could pull this off again, but Ron, it is time for our starting 5. Your number 5, my friend.
All right, my number 5 is, and it pains me to even put him here, but numbers wise, it would be higher. But I'm going to put Pete Rose there.
Pete Rose. I didn't even have Pete Rose.
I had to put him in, even though I can't stand the guy. Yeah. Can't stand him.
Guy's a phenomenal player.
But the numbers just dictate he has to be in the top 5. Has to be in the top 5.
I commend you for that one. Very good.
4,256 hits.
All-time hits leader.
Only 160 home runs, but that's not what he was.
That's not what he was.
303 batting average.
Insane. He
had 2,165 runs scored. And 1,274 RBI to go along with that.
Nice.
So he's the reason for did
you have stolen bases by any chance?
3,400 runs. Stolen bases, 198.
Right. So you think about it.
3 batting titles. An MVP, 17 All-Stars, a Silver Slugger, 2 Gold Gloves, 3 World Series, a World Series MVP, and a Rookie of the Year, of course.
Wow.
I had to put him in. Number-wise, it would be higher, but I don't like him. I don't like the fact that he cheated late in his career.
Right. They all cheat. But anyway, I give you credit for putting him on the list. Very good job. I did not have Pete Rose on my list because I didn't even think about the color rose. Good job. At 5, I had, and if you play Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo, this guy dominated. Darrell Green, cornerback, Washington, 54 interceptions, 6 touchdowns, 7 Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro, 2-time champion. One of those first gritty, shutdown corners that I
like the player.
Remember. Darrell Green.
I should have probably put him in my honorable mention.
Number 5.
Ron,
5. Your number 4.
My number 4 has to go to NHL.
Okay.
And first of all, it was tough to find players with colors, and because everything is like a foreign name and they just don't have colors.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I did find Red Kelly.
I can't believe you got him that low. I have him
number
a lot
4?
higher. I have him a lot higher.
Well, the former Detroit Red Wing Toronto Maple Leaf had over 1,300 games played, 823 points. He had 281 goals, 542 assists. He was a plus 50 with 41 game-winning goals. He's a Hall of Famer. He has 8 Stanley Cups.
That's why I said, how do you have him that low?
8 All-Stars.
Nope.
4 Lady Byng trophies and a Norris trophy.
Yeah.
He's still ranked number 163 in points all time.
Okay.
Which is pretty good considering he played in 1947 to 67.
8 cups, Ron.
8 cups.
How many Tom Brady
have? Him at number 4.
Tom Brady. 7. He's better than Tom Brady. What is wrong with you? All right.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
At number 4, my friend, I had And I still love that commercial. Hey, kid, here's a jersey. Mean Joe Green, baby. Joe Green, 77.
Oh, that's who I forgot for an honorable mention. There he is, right
77 and a
there.
half sacks, 10 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year,
Yep.
4-time champion. Mean Joe Green, man. Give me that Coke in a smile and a jersey.
Yeah.
Never forget that commercial.
Yeah, I'll never forget it either. I actually did have it. I just did. My paper is a mess here, my
Okay.
notes.
All right,
And
no
I
problem.
didn't see it. But as soon
Mean
as
Joe
you said
Green, baby.
commercial, I was like, oh, I
Right.
forgot Joe.
Mean Joe Green, baby. All right, my friend. You're 3.
My number 3, and now you'll understand why Red Kelly was only number 4,
Mhm.
because I had to put Jim Brown at number 3.
You know, I forgot Jim Brown. I forgot the color brown, too. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I give up. I told you my list stunk tonight. Go ahead.
So 12,000 plus yards. He averaged 5.2. So you just give him
I
the ball
quit.
twice, you get a first down.
I quit. You won.
106 touchdowns, 9 Pro Bowls, 8 times All Pro, 1 NFL championship, 3 MVPs. 3
Good one.
MVPs. This
best.
man was just a beast.
He's another one of those
This
guys,
is what
right?
a running back is right here.
9 years, I think, his career. So, like, similar to Barry Sanders. Like, they just
Yeah.
said, that's it, I'm done. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Jim Brown. Great one. Good one.
He
Good one.
was great.
One of the best. At 3, I had the minister, baby. Reggie White, 198 sacks, 33 forced fumbles, 13 Pro Bowls, 8 All-Pros, 1 championship. I probably would have had him higher if he had more championships. Just the 1 championship that time he moved over to Green Bay there, and Mr.
I'm curious of who
Favre.
you're going to have higher than me, because my number 2 was Reggie White.
Okay.
I mean, 198 sacks, really?
Yeah.
That is just insane.
The minister of
insane.
defense. Minister of defense, my friend.
Nobody could contain him. Nobody. 33 forced fumbles.
Yeah, it was just
He was just
freak of
brutal.
nature.
Brutal.
Minister of defense, Kenny, you got it.
Yep.
So who'd you have at a 2?
Well, you got to give me your number 2.
Oh, because Reggie was your 2. That's right. Whitey Ford, my friend,
Who do you
236,
have on top?
106, 2.75 ERA, 1,957 Ks, a Cy Young, 10-time All-Star, 2-time ERA champ. But I went the Ron route here. 6-time champion, 6 championships, Whitey Ford. He was my number 2.
I'm a little confused who you could possibly have higher than him.
Okay.
Did I miss somebody that good?
Nope.
My number 1 is Whitey Ford.
Nice.
He was, to me, that was an easy one. He was clearly number 1 to me. 236 wins, 106 losses, 2.75 ERA. 2.775. I mean, this guy just wins. That's all he did is win. Who do you have at number 1?
I said, and I did a Ron. I said I was going Ron route. That gentleman right here, you see that little gentleman I'm pointing to? 7-time champion, Mr. Tom Brady. Red Kelly, 8 championships, better than Tom Brady. Red Kelly, my number 1. 8-time champion, bro.
Yeah.
You tell me championships matter. That's your line. I rode that, and I said, this man won 8. I said, Tom Brady won 7. This guy won 8. He's got to be number 1 on my list. Red Kelly.
All right.
So
that's good. No, I can see that.
I love it, man. That's
You
what's
don't have a bad list.
No,
even
it
though
wasn't bad.
I can't believe you forgot Pete Rose.
I can't believe I forgot. And Jim Brown.
And Jim Brown.
I should be ashamed of myself. Ron, what do you want to do next week, my friend? We had food. We've had some colors. What do you got? You got something? We're not doing body parts.
Oh,
come
on.
I am not doing body
There's
parts.
so many good ones.
I know. We're not doing it because I know where you're going to go with half of them.
We can ban that area. But there's so many good ones.
You want to do body parts? Is that where you want to go? We'll do it.
No, it's all right.
Just don't. Okay, what do you got then? You got to give me something. What do you want to do next week?
Well, there's all
It's your
kinds
pick.
of things that we can do.
It's your pick. Go ahead. What do you want?
Is it really? It's my pick.
Yeah,
So
you
I can pick anything.
other than body parts. No. Forward in Toronto.
Why
And,
not play?
what does
Hey,
that
how
mean?
about places?
Like guys with
Like, you can go
He's
down
coming
to
right-
the lake or by the river.
Darryl
Or you can
Boston,
just go
right?
to Boston.
Darryl Boston was a wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. So you're saying like have a
Have like a place.
park
Places. Yeah.
places? Okay. Places. All right. Let's see what we got next week. Places. All right. Forward in Toronto, Kenny. Got to explain that one to me.
Because everybody's going to be traveling soon for the holidays. So.
Okay. I like it. All right. I hear you. I hear you. All right, my friend. Kenny is still live with us, so I'm sure he'll want to chime in on this conversation. We're going to talk some NBA. We're going to bring up Mr. Jamal Murray. So he's expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks for the Nuggets. Is this a bad sign for Denver?
Yeah, probably. Because now he's going to be out for a few times. That means we're probably going to be expecting this guy to have some nagging injuries all year, right? That's the basic
That's what my concern would
consensus?
be. No, Kenny says nope. I don't know if I agree with you on this one, Kenny, because I'm going to tell you the same thing. He's second on the team in scoring, second on the team in assists. Obviously, Jokic is what makes that machine run. But you got to start to worry about a guy that has had injury concerns in the past, right? 2021, 22. He missed but they're not winning a championship without Jamal Murray. And I'm not saying it's that serious, but you got to start to worry about if he's going to have nagging injuries where he's out more than he's playing.
Eric, I can just make it this simple. Giannis. Where was he without Middleton?
Yeah. It's tough. Eventually,
you just can't. You have to have that second guy to do anything. You're not going to win a championship without a second guy. And if this guy is going to get hurt with nagging injuries here and there, they should be worried. I'm not saying he's going to miss the playoffs. I'm not saying that. But if he misses games in the playoffs, it's going to cost them.
And I will say the one benefit is it's the right hamstring strain that's keeping him out for about a month. He tore the ACL in the left knee. So at least it's a different knee. So it's not like you say that leg's maybe, got some problems. But I would be concerned because, again, they were fully healthy last year. You see what happens when they're fully healthy and they're running. He played 65 games last year. You know what I mean? You're already going to miss probably a good 10 games now in a month.
Yep,
I'd start to be
yeah.
concerned. I'd start to be concerned. And Kenny, I think you're wrong on this one, my friend. But I mean, again, you are our basketball guys, so we'll give you a pass on this one.
Yeah,
Give you a pass on this one. Ron, we're going to talk some Major League Baseball. A couple of managers' moves. First one being Craig Counsell. He's moving to the Chicago Cubs. Do you think he can win with this team?
See, now I have a problem with the Cubs. Like, weren't they in a playoff race? They almost
This
made
year
it.
they were. Yeah, they were. They had a really good run for a while there.
Right, but my point is this team, had a shot at making the playoffs that had no business making a shot, right? They had no business being there. Down the stretch. They didn't make it. Yes, I get it. But why do you get rid of the coach, the manager, when you make it so that way there's important baseball late in the season? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. This is what happened with St. Louis. Remember when he made the playoffs and they lost in the opening round, and then they fire him, and then look where they were.
Yeah, last place.
This is the same thing. What I'm saying now, I'm not saying Counsell won't be a good manager or anything, but what I'm saying is, why break something down if you don't need to?
Yeah, why
There
break
was
something
no
that isn't
need.
broken? Yeah, that right. Why fix something that isn't broken? Right? Isn't that the expression? I will ask you this, Ron. What pisses me off more is if I told you 1,332 games as a manager, 707 and 625. That's a 531 win percentage. 7-12 overall in the playoffs, a 368 win percentage. Would you pay him 5 years, $40 million, which makes him the highest paid manager in Major League Baseball?
No,
That's what the Cubs just did.
no.
What is wrong with this franchise that you feel I'm going to pay this guy the most money for above average? He's above average, not by much, manager. And you can't tell me Milwaukee didn't have talent. They were a very talented team, and he
Yeah,
couldn't win with that team.
right.
I don't like
Yeah,
this move
no,
at
I
all.
don't. I don't like what the Cubs did here. Look, I'm like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Council,
Yeah,
even
no,
though you
he's a
are
good manager.
absolutely spot on with that. But I don't make a manager change. I
No,
don't make a manager change. Not when
no.
they improve that much.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think this might derail them as well because now you got a new style, everything changes.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
Another big move was Ron Washington now is the new manager of the Los Angeles Angels. Is this going to make a difference?
Nope.
Would you take this job, Ron? When I thought about this, Ron Washington, if I was Ron Washington, I would be like, I don't. Is Ohtani coming back first? Because if he's not, I don't want this job. Who's my best player? Mike Trout, who's 32, who misses at least 2/3 of the season every year. Sure, I want this job to fail. Like this is a job to fail.
I don't resign until I don't sign as a manager until they sign
Right? I
Ohtani.
would have waited. I would have been. You know what? Let's wait. Let's play this out. Let's see what
Yep.
happens.
Yeah,
You're
because maybe I
insane.
can sign with Boston when they get him.
Oh, here we go. He has won 2 pennants, 664 and 611 in his career as a manager with Texas, a 521 win percentage. I mean, a lot of these guys about average. And it blows my mind.
But you know, like I like Ron Washington as a manager. I really do. He hasn't always been given talent, and I think he can make the most of what you got with little that you have. The problem is I don't go to the Angels organization because they can't get out of their own way. They need to change their philosophy because it's not working. You can get all the sluggers you want, but if you have nothing in that bullpen and nothing to start the games except for Ohtani, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They couldn't win with Ohtani and Trout, and now they're going to have probably one, maybe none of them.
See, that's what we could have done. We could have done animals. Like Trout.
Yeah, you could.
Well, that's one to think about. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for the guy. I do. I think that's going to be a bad situation for him. But
yeah,
we'll
no,
see.
it's not going to be good.
We'll see. We'll see. Major League Baseball still, trying to make some moves here.
Well,
All right, my
they
friend.
had some people shuffling around already.
Yeah.
They have a lot of people didn't get their options picked up, or
And free agency is about to begin, so we'll
Yep.
be talking a lot of Major League Baseball in the next coming weeks. But it is time, Ron, for split decisions.
For the winner by split decision.
So our split decision segment is basically we ask each other 2 more likely questions, and we decide which one we would more likely go with and make our split decision. Ron, you are first this week, my friend. So if you want to start us off with your first split decision.
Okay, Robot Eric.
You are welcome.
All right, so let me see. Well, you sounded like a robot there for a moment.
Okay. What do you got? What do you got?
All
my
right.
friend?
So let me see. Simi, we just talked a little bit about baseball. This one has a tie into it.
Ooh.
Is it more likely to see the New England Patriots win another Super Bowl first, or the Boston Red Sox win another World Series first?
Oof. You're gonna make me say it, and I don't want to say it. I think the Red Sox. And the only reason why I will say that, I feel like baseball, you can just have a year. You know what I mean? Like, you can buy guys and make it happen. And I just feel like New England's just going to be on a rebuild for a while. I think it's just going to, until you figure out the quarterback situation and personnel and coach. And I think they're in a much worse situation.
And you think that Alex Cora has been there for another year since the suspension, so he might cheat again?
Yeah, eventually they'll go back to Jim Harbaugh style. Yeah.
Okay.
My number one split decision is more likely Jim Harbaugh coaches in the NFL next year, or Josh McDaniels goes to college to coach.
Josh McDaniels.
Really?
I don't think there's anywhere else to go now. He has to earn it in college if he wants to be a head coach.
Okay. All right. So you think he goes to college?
I think
Jim
goes to
Harbaugh
college
does not go
next.
to the NFL.
If he goes to the NFL, it's going to be as an offensive coordinator, and he'll never get
No,
another
I'm talking
chance.
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. I like it. Okay. You're number two.
All right, my number two. This is a good one. I love this one. All right. Is it more likely Jamar Chase gets the most receptions, currently fifth, or Patrick Mahomes gets the most touchdown passes, and he's currently fourth?
I would go Patrick Mahomes. I think there's too many factors. You got to have, again, a healthy quarterback. Joe Burrow sometimes we know isn't the healthiest, so you lose a quarterback, it affects you. If your quarterback stays on the field, you got a better shot. So Patrick Mahomes, I think, with the touchdowns, passing touchdowns. That's how I would go with that. Good one, though. I like it. Ron, I think I'm going to know the answer to this one, but more likely the Patriots draft a quarterback in the first round or trade down in the first round.
Wait, that could actually still happen even if they do both.
Aha! But what's more likely?
Trade down.
Trade down and probably get an offensive line. First time in NFL history, a fullback goes in the first round.
It's rare that he doesn't trade down.
Right? Ron, it's going to be first time in NFL history, fullback in the first round.
No, see, my fear, this is my fear. Yeah. My fear is that they get the number one pick and they still trade down.
Trade down. Yeah. We're going to get 3 first-round picks that we're going to keep trading.
Yeah. And before you know it, we're going to end up with 7 seventh-round picks.
Yeah.
And we'll have to draft a Brady again.
I love it. If you are joining us live, I will ask this. This is something new. I just thought about this. If you're out there and you want to join us on Split Decision, chime in. Give us a more likely, and we will answer those questions for you. So anytime you're out there and you're joining us live, ask us a question. More likely to, and you give us our options, and we'll let you know what we think. So we'll do that every week as well on our Split Decisions. But we are going to start to talk, Ron, some NHL, my friend, my hockey guru. And CharlieMcAvoy suspension was upheld by Gary Bettman.
Yep.
Did the league get it right?
Yes, they did. Look, it's his third offense. I'm surprised he didn't get more, but 4 games at this point, I think that was good. They stood their ground. They didn't budge when he tried to appeal it. And I saw the hit. There was no reason to even hit him. there was a definite upward motion to hit him. And I don't like that the fact that it was CharlieMcAvoy, because to me it looked kind of like a dirty hit. And I don't think of McAvoy as that kind of a player, but I saw what I saw and I would have suspended him too.
So, you know what? I agree with you. Like, I agree with the suspension. You know what my problem was? That if it's not if it's less than 6 games, then it goes to Bettman and you can't appeal, or you can't, to get an arbitrator in and try to make, like, I didn't understand that part of the rule. Like, how does that make any sense to me? So why 6 games? Why does that automatically, like, anything less than 6, I can't fight the commish and say I don't agree with it?
Yeah, that's what the players agreed on.
Isn't that a weird rule, though? Don't you think that seems odd? So if I'm Bettman, I'm telling everybody, do 5-6 games every time. And then it's an automatic.
Yeah.
It's an automatic. You can't even fight it.
And that's the thing, it's like, because the players, when they think about, it's only 4 games, but if that happens a couple of times, then, well,
it turns into 12, 16 games by the end of it. And
right.
You can't fight it. You got to just accept it. He's going to tell you, well, he gets the opportunity to decide either way. And whatever he decides, that's it. You're stuck. There is nowhere else to go with it. It seemed odd to me. But I would say this too, to your point, McAvoy knows how important he is to the team. He's got to be smarter than that, make better decisions.
Yeah.
It was blatantly like he didn't even try to avoid hitting him. It's just dumb decisions. Granted, you're lucky the team's rolling right now, best record in the NHL, but it doesn't excuse it.
It doesn't. Because if it happens again this season, it could really cost him.
Yeah. Yeah. He just better hope for more than 6 games, because then he can
No, we can't hope for 6 games.
Oh, my friend.
If those 6 teams come in the playoffs.
Yeah, we had to get our Bruins fix in tonight. But it is time, Ron, for pick and roll.
It's time for pick and roll.
Pick and roll, my friend, tonight. It is some top rookies from 1978, 45 years ago. Believe it or not, 45 years ago. In Major League Baseball, Lou Whitaker, Paul Molitor, Alan Trammell, Ozzie Smith, Carney Lansford. We are going to rank them from 5 to 1. You are first this week, my friend. You pick them and roll with them.
This is a perfect time that it could be sponsored by such and such, because like a tire company should be sponsoring this segment.
Jim's Tire Company, pick and roll. Come on.
Yep.
Make it happen, guys. We'll tell you how to sponsor our show later on in the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was a good one, Eric. I like the players a lot in this.
Yeah, there were a lot of really good players.
Really good. My number 1 and number 5 were easy.
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4, I had a difficult time.
And I will say this, every single one of them won a championship.
Yes.
Which is pretty good. Like,
so that took that out of
yeah, exactly. You couldn't use that.
Because that usually is the ultimate decider for me.
Exactly.
And I'm looking at that and I was like, what the?
Every single one of them won one championship. No more than one. They all got one.
They all have one. So I had to figure out other ways to come up with my deciding factors. So number 5, I thought it was pretty easy. I put Carney Lansford at number 5. 2,074 hits. He had the least amount of hits under this group.
Yeah.
151 homers, 290 batting average. He was second on that list. 1,000 plus runs, 874 RBI. 224 stolen bases. The 411 slugging was pretty good for the kind of hitter he is. But nothing really stood out. And therefore he ended up last on my list, and I calculated all the rankings of all the numbers that I kept track of, and he came out with the highest average. So
Nice.
in a battle of lowest average, that didn't work out very well for him. Number 4, it was so close. It was so close. So I gave everybody a score, and the 2, 3, and 4 spots was 36, 38, and 40.
Wow.
So all their numbers added up to those. So that's how close it was. And because I couldn't decide. And I said, screw it. I'm just going to do it out like this, rank them, and then add it up and see what it comes out to. So Alan Trammell, number 4, 2,365 hits, 4th in hits out of the group. So it kind of went fitting like that. The 285 batting average, his numbers are great. 6 All-Stars, 4 Gold Gloves, 3 Silver Sluggers, a World Series MVP, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just by a tad. Number 3, I got Ozzie Smith. That was really tough because out of the list, he might be my second favorite.
Yeah,
out of the list.
Agreed. As a player, yeah.
As a player. Those defensive numbers is where it's all at, right?
Oh, my goodness. You know how we love those.
Okay, 15 All-Stars.
Not too shabby.
13 Gold Gloves.
Insane.
It's ridiculous, right?
And the best flip ever in baseball.
Oh.
Right? When he came out every time, did the flip.
Personally, I think he's the best infielder defensively ever. He didn't hit very well, but he did have 1 Silver Slugger. He had a year. 2,460 hits though. He was second overall in hits, but there's no power numbers on this guy. But he did score 1,257 runs. But like I said, it's all about that defense, and the speed was there too. 580 stolen bases. So, the guy was just an awesome player to watch, especially in that field.
Agreed.
And but just edging him out was Lou Whitaker. He had the most home runs out of all of the players, 244. These guys aren't home run hitters by no means, but they are spectacular. They're all great ball players. I respect every single one of these players. 2,369 hits, 1,300 runs, 1,000 plus RBI, slugging 426. Rookie, the player that actually won Rookie of the Year. 5 All-Stars, 3 Gold Gloves, 4 Silver Sluggers. He was a very good baseball player.
Yeah.
I thought he was a hell of a player. And then number 1, I have Paul Molitor. This is not the first time he's been number 1 on one of our lists.
Agreed. Yeah.
3,319 hits. The only guy out on the list to get 3,000 plus. 234 homers. Batted .306, also the best out of anybody on the list. 1,782 runs, also the best on the list. 1,307 RBI, also best on the list. It was really easy to put him up there. Best slugging percentage as well. He still chipped in for 504 stolen bases, which was second to only Ozzie. 7-time All-Star. 4 Silver Sluggers and a World Series MVP to go with that. He was my number 1, and it was not even a question.
Okay, not bad. We had it pretty close, honestly. Carney Lansford at 5. I agree with you. Like, just not enough. Only 1 All-Star.
Yeah.
1 Silver Slugger, 1 batting title. So again, if you look at the grand scheme of everybody else. I flip-flop Whitaker and Trammell. And
totally acceptable.
Whitaker got the rookie of the year, so he actually was the best rookie out of this group that year. Went Smith at 3, agreed, because that batting average hurt him.
Yeah.
But then Trammell, the reason why I put him at 2, because of that World Series MVP. So you think about the biggest moments.
Yeah, and I was debating on that one too.
And the kicker is, if you think about it, Whitaker and Trammell were on the same team. Think about that.
Yeah, they were.
Class. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. And then Paul Molitor, again, like you said, his numbers speak for itself. Plus, he was a World Series MVP as well. So, again, stepped up in the biggest moment.
Yep.
But some great players here. Some great players. Like, they all had some longevity, too. So, it lasted quite some time.
That would be a hell of a lineup, by the way.
Right? You
could have Ozzie Smith as shortstop. You could have Lou Whitaker at second. Carney Lansford. You can move him to first base and put Alan Trammell at third base.
Yeah, right. Just insane. That would be right.
And Paul Molitor can, he could be your DH, or I'm sure he was good enough to play anywhere. So,
what a great list.
That would be a hell of a team.
Hell of a team, my friend. It is prediction time. Good show that we've had already, but this is always a fun part of our show where we get, again, our fans to participate as well. So if you are joining us live, please let us know what your picks will be. Currently, Ron at 56%. I'm at 58%. Last week, we tied 6-3. We only got about 7 weeks left of the season. Kenny coming in strong at 2-7 last week. So hopefully you're still alive, Kenny. Little advice. Yeah, you sucked because you picked against us every single pick, and it didn't come back to benefit you. So let's see how you do this week, Kenny. But if you are alive and you'd like to join in, just let us know who you pick during each game that we call out here, okay? Ron, you are first this week. So we're going to start off.
Graphics up there, Eric?
Look at that. There it is, 58%. 58. It's getting close, man. Hey, not bad. Over 300+ games we've picked. That's pretty good.
This is great. We are
we've
picking
done
the
pretty
toughest
well.
games every week.
I know everybody wants this gambling betting thing. Listen, all we'll do, we'll pick you some winners 58% of the time, 56% of the time. Take that. It's not bad. All right, my friend. NBA action.
Picks. We don't get points.
Yeah, we don't do it by point. 11-12. You've got the Dallas Mavericks at the New Orleans Pelicans.
I'm going to go Dallas on that one. I'm going to go Dallas. Dallas looks good.
They do. Grant Williams, baby. Making a difference.
Made a difference.
I went Mavs. Kenny's going Mavs. Anybody else out there live want to chime in? Let us know. Dallas Mavericks at the New Orleans Pelicans. It's clean sweep on that one.
Clean sweep.
11-14. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Golden State Warriors. Minnesota beat Denver when they were undefeated. Beat Boston when they were undefeated. Golden State Warriors don't let it happen. I went Golden State here.
Yeah, I'm going Golden State as well. Like you said, they've been on that run, and as soon as it gets pointed out, then disaster strikes. So I like Golden State at home.
Yeah, I agree. Kenny, you got to pick Minnesota Timberwolves at the Golden State Warriors.
He's deciding.
I don't understand why he drinks during this part of the show.
Because he can't decide.
What's it? 1 shot Minnesota, 2 shots. I don't know what he's doing. All right, got some NFL action, Ron. 11-12. Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. We say this is the matchup this week. This is the game.
Yeah, I'm going to go Baltimore. I'm going to take them at home. I think that's the deciding factor because I think they're too close to tell, so you go home.
Okay. I agree with you on the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's too – I don't know if I trust Cleveland's offense. So I think that's where I lay – and again, home always kind of makes a difference, but Cleveland's offense still scares me. I don't feel like they could put up enough points. 11-12. You also got the San Francisco 49ers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kenny picked Baltimore, by the way, in the last matchup. San Francisco 49ers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I went and I said they're bouncing back, even though Jaguars are at home. I'm going San Francisco. They know they need to start to win some games.
Yeah, this is a scary one, right? But you gotta figure they gotta turn it around, right?
Yeah, 3
Is
straight
Debo
losses.
playing?
They're off a bye now. I'm sure he is. Kenny went Jags.
Yeah, I'm going San Francisco.
All right, San Fran. Little NHL action, my friend. 11-11. You got the Dallas Stars at the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, I'm gonna go trending how I'm seeing some of my picks here. I'm going Dallas on the road.
Dallas on the road. I went Dallas as well. So far, we great minds think alike. That's what they say. Kenny, on the other hand, oh, come on, Kenny, Dallas. There we go. All right. Kenny's trying to get in his winning ways again. Ron, 11-14, the Boston Bruins at the Buffalo Sabres. I went Boston here.
Yeah, I did too. There's no way I'm going against what they're doing right now. And now they're going to have McAvoy back. Oh.
McAvoy back. I think, listen, they're playing better than they did last year. Scary.
I know, that's scary, isn't
right?
it?
And you think about it, 65-win team, and you're like, oh, they're playing better.
The only problem is, Eric, I don't know how they're going to make some trades because this year
they don't have it.
They don't have a first, second, or third.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough.
So it's going to probably stand pat.
Yeah. A couple of big matchups in NCAA football this weekend as well. 11-11. Number 3, Michigan, the Wolverines at number 10, Penn State, Nittany Lions. My friend, who do you got?
I'm going to take Penn State.
Ooh, in the upset.
He's not going to be able to be in the game cheating. He'll have to do everything beforehand.
At home, he's probably going to have, they're going to have little earpieces.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he's going to be coaching the team. Don't worry about it. So, but he's not going to be able to be on the field. And I think Penn State is going to be looking at this as like, let's get these guys.
All right. I think they're primed for the taking, but I went Michigan here. I think they're going to play harder from Harbaugh. You saw that the 3 games that he was suspended early in the year, and they played even harder. So I think they're going to try to prove a point that they don't want to be labeled as cheaters. The players, I think they're going to play harder. I went Michigan here.
Okay.
Kenny went Penn State as well. I think he's on your mindset. Also got at on the 11th as well. Number 9, Ole Miss, the Rebels. At number 2, the Georgia Bulldogs. Another big matchup here. Top 10 teams. I went Georgia. Listen, I think they're probably the best college team. Them and Ohio State been 1-2 pretty much all year, and I think Georgia's on a mission as well to win it again.
Yeah, I got Georgia as well. Yeah, they're too good for Ole Miss right now. Ole Miss has had a good season, but
yeah.
They don't have what Georgia has.
No, Georgia's just dominant. Listen, half the team the last couple of years is in the NFL now because that's how good those guys were. Kenny went Georgia as well. No NASCAR. NASCAR's done, my friend. But we did finish 2nd and 3rd last week in NASCAR. So we had some fun with NASCAR. We'll definitely bring that back. Yeah, I think in February is when they start up again. So,
yeah.
Ron, that was our prediction segment. It is time for final thoughts. But before we go into final thoughts, my friend, we always talk about how you can sponsor this wonderful show. If you don't mind telling all the amazing people out there how they can be a part of Sports Unfolded every single week.
Oh, absolutely, Eric. I'd be honored to do that. Of course. Why wouldn't I? So it's easy as just sending us an email at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information that you need to know. But really, Eric, it's very simple. It costs less than going to your local, coffee shop. Also, it costs less than those tires that we were talking about.
Yes, that's right.
for a price of one tire, you can get a whole year. So, just send us that email. We'll be more than happy to help you out and just help us out by sponsoring the show. And we can read off the ad that you want us to air, and so it'll be visually and
Audio.
heard.
Yeah.
Orally.
Kenny said, great point. The in-season tournaments tonight, he said that Detroit's court is completely ugly. So listen, these courts are funky, man. Some of these in-season tournament courts have been like, wow, what are they doing? But Ron, thank you for sharing that. I will say you have an opportunity to buy me a coffee. You can check out that website as well to donate. Stars and Bits on either platform there.
Absolutely.
You can follow us, like us, and share our show on all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, MeWe. I mean, Tumblr. We're on everything. There is nothing we're not on.
Right.
So first of all, if you do sponsor, you'll be seen by thousands upon thousands of eyes. You also have a great opportunity to be a part of our show every single week. Ron, final thought times, my friend. Doesn't necessarily have to be about sports. It could be about anything going on in the world today. You are first this week, my friend. So please tell the fans your final thought.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to. So earlier today, when I was doing my research, Eric, I was brushing over, what I was going to think of for my split decision. And I came across, all the rookie numbers for the NHL. And Connor Bedard right on top with 11 points. 11 points. He's literally only 2 ahead of the next guy. And there's a whole slew of those guys, in the 9, 8, and 7 points. So, when leagues like to come out and basically really promote that one guy that they think is going to be the next one, and you kind of put too much pressure on them, right? I mean, we talked about this probably about 4 weeks ago, and you can see it taking its toll, I think, on Connor Bedard, because it's like they have the Bedard watch, and every game is televised, and it's put so much pressure on him, and it's not really that good of a team, and you have these results that he's got 11 points, while Matthew Patra, motoring in Boston, he's got 7 right now. So, I mean, anything can happen. There's a ton of guys out there that could be rookie of the year. I don't think it's going to happen for Connor Bedard. I think it's going to be somebody else. And it just goes to show you need to stop putting the pressure on these kids. They're 18 years old, and you're putting pressure on them they've already accomplished things.
No, great
it's
point.
Not fair.
Great point. Great point. I love it. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah, Wembanyama is in the same boat, right?
Mm-hmm. Just the expectation is going to be, he's the next great thing. And then, he has a bad year or something happens. Next thing you know, it's, then they're a bust. No, great point. Ron, my final thought is just obviously a very special day in our country tomorrow. I want to thank all the men and women who have served our country to protect our freedoms, to allow us to do the things we are able to do and speak the way we'd like to speak. And, Veterans Day is tomorrow. So again, if you know veterans out there, make sure you thank them for their service. And obviously the ones that have sacrificed their lives to protect our freedoms. Always our thoughts and prayers are with their families for allowing them to be able to do that. But very special day in our country, right? A lot going on in the world when it comes to wars right now, right? So just think about all the lives that are lost during these battles. And, for our country, most of the time, it's overseas. It's somewhere else. It's not in our country, because we make sure that we protect our home by defending it somewhere else. So, to all the veterans out there, obviously to everybody that's serving now, stay safe. And our thoughts and prayers with those families that are lost. But, Veterans Day is always an important day in our country. Ron, It's been a fun show.
It is.
We had a good time, right? I want to thank Kenny for joining us live. Anybody that joins us afterwards, obviously, just continue to share our show, comment, let us know what you think. We are going to continue to grow and continue to bring you sports content, the best sports podcast in the world. I will guarantee you that.
All right.
So we will see you next week, the same time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rhode Island Broadcasting. And all we ever ask for every single week, Ron, is peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.